Alright guys, I'm back from AutoZone, and we have our clutch slave cylinder, clutch master cylinder, some .3 brake fluid, and we're gonna go ahead and get this bad boy started and disconnect using one of these two tools. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the pedal from the cylinder itself. Do this wrench trench style with the thing. So up under here, all the way up under here, there's a little pin inside. Barely picks it up, but it's in there, and there's a little pin in there. So it's gonna take two hands for me to do this, so sit tight. Alright, so here's the little pin, and here's the little holding clip that you take out of this thing here. So I had to contort my body in a way that I didn't like, but I did it. Okay, so the next move is to loosen up this line over here. Alright, now we got some light on the situation. You can see right in there, that is what, stick a rag down in there so all the fluid don't come running out and messing up nothing. This is a 10 millimeter. I'm trying to crack this thing off with that. 10 millimeter and a couple of other choice tools did the job, so it's finally broken loose. So I can undo it a little bit here. I just wanted to crack it loose a little bit. And once it's cracked loose, those two bolts right in here, there's two bolts, one down there, one over here. Those two bolts come off with a 12 millimeter. Alright, we got our 12 millimeter. We're gonna start just gonna crack these loose, because after this, okay, now that that's done, got all that stuff loosened up, I think I'm going to move on to the slave cylinder and go ahead and knock that out. Just to show you where the slave cylinder is, it's right here, right at the base of the transmission. Seems like it's relatively easy to get to, so let's see if we can just record this. It turns out these are 14 millimeter. So let's go ahead and crack these off. Alright, so it turns out this needs a 17 millimeter. Let's see if we can get this thing broken off of here without doing any damage. Got it. So that worked out way better than I expected. I was expecting to struggle a little bit, but this one came off pretty nice. So, I do want to take off the whole thing because I don't know if it's clogged or not, and I'd like to test it. Put a little air in there. Let's see what we got. I'd like to just take it off from here, but it looks like I'm gonna need another 17. So let me see if I can find one or a wrench. I blew some air through this hose, and it seems to be fine. It doesn't seem to be clogged up or anything. It actually looks okay. It doesn't look real brittle. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick that back in there. As you see, I had to break out the container to stop all the dripping of the fluid, and yeah, get rid of the fluid, and it looks like this thing's ready to come out of here. And that's it. Let's take a look at it. Doesn't seem like it's in bad shape, but I just couldn't trust myself to keep it in there. And besides, this thing was $11. So, really. 11 bucks, change the damn thing. All right, let's get the new one. Doing some installation procedures here. And while I read through this, I'll put you guys on hold. To all these guys that make these YouTube videos and make this shit seem easy, big props to you guys. I'm telling you, trying to hold a camera and do the work, it's not the easiest thing in the world. So, anyhow, back to the program. As you can see, the master cylinder, the slave cylinder is all in. That's the new one. Now I'm gonna put the hose on. Sorry for the quality, I'm trying to get you guys right here. So, let's put the hose back in. Put it this way. Sorry, I had to figure out which way it went. And honestly, I think there's supposed to be a copper here. So I think I dropped it. So I'm gonna have to go find it. Washer. And this bad boy's going in there. Yep. If I can get the camera right. So now that that's in, take a 17 millimeter and we tighten this bad boy up. Bleeders in the way, and that's a good way to strip it, so don't ever do what I just did. Don't gotta go crazy, but you do gotta tighten it. So just want one more little turn on this thing. Yep, that's nice and tight. So next move is you connect the other side here. Get all that crap out your way. And this turns both sides, so let's see if I can't get a good shot without screwing nothing up. Alright, so now that's all nice. You get that tightened on up. There we go. That goes there. And we're just gonna put it on just tight enough. We're not gonna kill it, because nobody wants to bust the threads or anything stupid like that. So just enough. I just want it tight enough. That's also what I'm doing with my left hand. My left hand's weaker, so and if it don't move no more with my left hand, it's where it should be. So there, we're good there. So that's where, here and there. Alright, so we got that all installed. Let's go to the master cylinder. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bench bleed the master cylinder. Hey, that's my dog. Say hi, Foster. Alright. So first move, I'm gonna set this thing in vise. The idea here for the bench bleeding is you take the cap off, put some fluid in there, and then you're supposed to run a hose from here into there, and then you just pump until all the air bubbles come out. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I don't have the tube or anything like that to bench bleed it, so I'm going to bench bleed it a different way. I've bench bled other things this way before, and I'm hoping it works this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep the nozzle on here, the little red plug, and then pump until there's no more bubbles coming out of the top, if you can keep it from squirting all over the place. Alright, so I finished removing the nuts, the two 12mm nuts and the fluid line. And here is the old master cylinder. And man, it's done. I mean, geez, look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this thing. This thing ain't got nothing come. It's done. So this was definitely the problem. Slave cylinder probably could have stayed where it was, but this was definitely a huge issue right here. But yeah. This will probably have to be adjusted underneath for travel, for pedal travel. But yeah, let's go ahead and stick this thing on here. I bench bled it like my own weird way, and I got stuff everywhere. I'll probably post it anyway, but it looked horrible. So anyway, what we got going on here is this thing's going back in. So what we got going on here is the old master cylinder. The new master cylinder, excuse me, is going back in. So if you can see that, there's the new master cylinder. Slides right on. Right. Master cylinder slides on. And we can go ahead and start putting the nuts on it. I would have wore the headgear for this, but I actually have a light that I'm wearing around my head right now so I can see, because I don't have electricity in the shop yet. So that's why I'm not wearing the headgear. because I don't have room for the light and the headgear. And probably need to get another camera, but you know, that's all in due time. Stick a ratchet on here. Then we got that thing started. Can you guys see in there? Sorry about that. Alright, so we're on there good there. Now the last thing to do is put on the hose. Let's put on the fluid line. See if I can't pry this off. Alright, so that's off. Put that in here. And we can start. Alright, I'm gonna finish turning this thing. Alright guys, just to show you where I'm at with this thing. I went ahead and topped it off with fluid and put the line on there. Bolted it all up, it's nice and tight, not going anywhere. Now we're gonna stick the pin in and the little safety thing. And we'll be back. Alright, so we're working on day 2 here. There's my buddy Foster. Say hi, Foster. Say hi. He's here to help me out with the day 2 on the Z. Now I did run into a few issues with this thing. I ended up finding out that there is a it's called this is the dampener for the master and the slave cylinder. Basically what it does, it makes the pedal easier to press down. So like You know, I guess little old ladies can drive this car or something, this sports car. So for some reason, little old ladies want to drive this. They can drive it because this actually softens up the pedal. What I did not know is that when you have one of these, that you have to bleed this as well if you change both the master cylinder and the slave cylinder, or one or the other. Sometimes you have to, either one could cause you to have to bleed this as well. Well, this thing's pretty damn old. So when I went to turn the bleed nipple, I broke it off. So that was upsetting. So then I put an easy out in there, and then I broke that off. So now there's no way of getting this thing out of here. But while I was looking for a new one of these, just to go ahead and replace it, I found out that this isn't even necessary to have on the car. There's threads all over the place saying that you can delete this altogether. So for $12 for a brake hose that fits on a 280ZX, like an 82 or something like that, I'm going to go ahead and use a brake line, and I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to plumb the master cylinder directly into the slave cylinder, and then we're going to attempt to bleed the brakes again. And this shouldn't have taken me 2 damn days to do, but it did, because I just had issue after issue with this thing, and I was bleeding and pumping and bleeding and pumping the whole time, and it took me forever, and I still didn't get a firm pedal. So what I ended up doing is I ended up pushing the pedal all the way to the floor, and I used a piece of wood. I know it's not the best idea in the world, but this is what I did. And now the next move is that I have to go to the store, because I think the part should be in now. I ended up ordering it yesterday. They said it should be here this morning. So I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to go ahead and go over there and pick that up. I don't think I'll be bringing you along for that. I don't think you need to see me as a trip to go to the store, but that's the move now. Oh, and by the way, I got this new cool little couch thingy that my better half got for me. So I got like a little yeah, look at that. Got like a little shop couch. Can't get any cooler than that. Look at this thing, badass. All right, so I'm gonna take a trip to the store. Me and Foster are gonna take a trip to the store, and we'll be back. I'm gonna go and finish off the delete. I'm gonna bleed these, and hopefully I get some clutch. If I do, great. Then the wheels come off, and then I'll go ahead and see if I can't start putting in this steering column. Excuse me, the steering rack. All right. So I just got back. The bad news is that the one of the batteries, well, both the batteries were bad. However, one of them had a warranty, so I was able to get a new battery. It's not exactly like the one that came out of there, but it should fit. If it does, I'll just use some straps or something to hold it in, and that way I could at least get it running and start diagnosing stuff. Or I'll just use the charger, the battery charger jumper to do it. I also got this. This is the brake hose from a 280Z. This was only $12, and with the recycle core from the first battery, which was $10, this essentially only cost me with tax $3.77. All right, so here we are back underneath. Can't really see that. I'm probably gonna have to get a light or something. But anyway, the idea now is to just hook this part here where the line's coming off. Take that line off and connect it directly to the hard line here for the master cylinder. So let's do that. Put it on this one, so that way we don't have any leaks, and it fits, and it looks like it's gonna work just fine. So here, there's this trial and error stuff going on. Sorry about that. I probably should have brought it through here, but what I'll do is I'll find a way to get it closer. It looks like it should stay, but it won't hurt to put like throw a zip tie on there or something. Actually, it is not. Anyhow, let's see what this size is. It'll probably be return of the 17mm. So we'll tighten that in. A little something, something. Good. And this one, I'm just gonna go ahead and zip tie right in here. Nice little zip tie here. And we're just gonna zip tie it to something sturdy. So we'll probably go through all these here. Okay. Oh yeah, that's the top of the thing. And we're gonna go here, just to get it up out of the way and to be sure it doesn't cause any issues later on. So we have that zip tied in place, going directly here, and I think we're good, man. I think we can go ahead and start the bleeding process. You don't have to watch that, so I'm gonna go ahead and just end it here for now. Alright guys, so after all of that, gonna give you the recap. First things first, remove the bottle. Remove your old beat down master cylinder. And install the new cylinder, which is right here. And it's gorgeous. Even more gorgeous if you had some light to see it with, so that's what I'm gonna get. So we have a new master cylinder in here. So we travel around here. And we installed our new, brand new slave cylinder. And then we did our delete. Alright. What we deleted was this thing right here that sat right in here, and it was garbage. It just sat like that, somewhere like that in here, and it was garbage. Piece of shit. So we deleted that, put that on. We bled the living shit out of it, and our pedal back. See that? Oh, oh, oh! We got a pedal. Look at that pedal. Okay, that's good. All right, that concludes this little session right here.